What's up, my gamer squad? It's me again, Sinister Supreme, and welcome to this amazing video of mine. This is the video that I've been waiting to present to you for quite a while now, and it is my 33-hour journey through God of War Ragnarok storyline. I hope you enjoy this because this was so much work, I'm telling you. And yeah, I just have to say this game is absolutely amazing. And without any further ado, let's get right into it here. The journey starts off rather simply with Kratos just chilling in his cavern, waiting for his son to arrive back at his place. Meanwhile, we see Atreus walking in the back with a deer on his shoulders, and my man has grown several meters sky high. That guy's amazing. Next scene, we can see that Kratos has to carry the deer because Atreus doesn't seem to be as bulky as he looks. And we can also acknowledge that Kratos has aged quite a bit. Looking at Atreus' movements, we can see that he clearly wants to hide something from his father. This is seemingly just a marble. I don't know what it's for. I forgot. Yeah, that's me. But we can see that also Kratos is a doofus and does not notice that Atreus is indeed hiding something from him. Upon hopping onto the sleigh with the wolves, we can see a person in the distance, seemingly female and ready to attack us, and I was not ready for this, but it is the goddess of love, Freya, keeping her promise of harassing our lives till the end of our days, since we murdered her son so nicely in the last God of War from 2018. Of course, without any trouble, we simply push her up the sleigh, and she can scream all she wants. We are not gonna look back. Oh, we did. Okay, never mind that one. As the credits are still coming in, we finally arrive at home with our beloved wolves. And be ready, guys, the next surprise is very, very sad. And yes, in fact, our good old friend Fenrir the wolf has lasted till the end of his days, and he is dying in this scene, and I was so incredibly sad here. But then Atreus casually casts a spell that puts Fenrir's soul somewhere. We are still gonna find out where that was. After Kratos so kindly decided to open the door to let us sneak a peek inside our own house, we saw that our beloved talking head Mimir is also back for this amazing journey. And after finally going to bed, we can see that some random hand is touching our tits, which is absolutely disgusting, but fine with me. Of course, that was just a dream in Kratos' beloved head, and everything is beloved in my head just as well. And judging by Kratos' facial expression, we can see that he was just as surprised as I was to see his second wife, Faye, in his dream world. Of course, what else to do than go hunting with your ex-wife, or, well, dead wife. And after doing basically nothing in the dream, we just woke up with her axe and a yellow hand on our head. But that's already it. And of course, tragedy strikes again, and we have to wake up with Mimir telling us that Atreus never returned from his burying trip to Fenrir's grave. On our way to find Atreus, we found the first group of annoying raiders, who we simply bet up, and then we walked around to find some good old loot. What else can we do in this game? Of course, loot is the best. And after climbing up what seemed like forever, we finally found the first boss in the entire game, a bear named Bjorn. And after we so kindly bet up the big bear Bjorn, tragedy struck again, since the bear actually was someone we all have come to know and love. As the yellow particles were lingering out of the bear's body, we could see that Atreus was actually the big Bjorn. And after some more family drama, and also Atreus casually telling Kratos to think like a general instead of a father, we finally get our first lecture in this game, and of course I did not pay attention, I don't care about those. And upon being able to settle back home, We wanted to have some good night's rest, but of course that is impossible in this game, since suddenly thunderbolts and lightning struck our house. Isn't this amazing? So we grabbed the axe, and our roof was destroyed, and we looked outside, and who is it? It's Thor, the god of thunder. Yeah, it is true, he is in this game. And after letting his fat belly inside our house, and him complimenting our nice place, which I appreciate till this day, we let him sit down. And of course, one guest is not enough, so we had a second one. Odin himself, the All-Father, stood at our doorway. How is this possible? And my man has got some drip. And after also letting Odin cross the doorstep and him casually drinking 2 cups of mead into our faces, he finally asked us the question for peace. Kratos obviously declined that request, since no is the only valid answer we accept in these games, since Kratos has this amazing cold voice that's lovely to hear all day. But then Thor and Odin both have enough, and this scene literally took forever. I have been expecting this since the start, but of course, we get the hammer smacked into our face. As we crash land on the battlefield, we found ourselves in the second and most amazing boss fight in the entire game, and this was my favorite boss fight by far. Why, you will see in a couple of moments. Still, it was incredibly hard for me to fight Thor because I was a doofus with these combat things, you know. I suck at this game's combat system, I don't know why. And after going to several places in this battle arena, and also Thor destroying Tyr's statue, he asked us if it was just luck that his sons fell to me, since in God of War 2018 his sons died to my hands. And then this incredible scene happened. Just watch. As I was mashing the circle button, this incredible thing happened. I was not ready for this. We actually died, and this is not just it. Look. Boom. We are alive. That was so unexpected. In the live stream, I was going crazy, but it was absolutely amazing to see. And after one epic scene after the other, we threw the Leviathan axe at Mjolnir to create amazing lightnings. And after beating his ass up, we're gonna go back home to look for Atreus, since he was alone with Odin, which is never a good sign. Since you always have to get ready before you go outside, we casually close the chests of our clothes that we have so nicely changed. And now look at this set, it looks amazing, much better than the survival set. And also, we found ourselves in the third boss fight. This time it was a mini boss fight against the Huntress boss, who also gave us something amazing after we bet her ass. After collecting some good stuff, we found that we got the Winter Spite Light Runic attack. As you can see here, it does no damage nor anything else, and upon finally getting to the shrine that we were seeking out for, which I completely missed, but yeah, you never pay attention to this storyline, even though it's amazing. I don't ever pay attention. Like, what is wrong with me? And then we see Atreus use his roots as a giant to reveal the shrine's true power. Actually, that's just 2 doors. Oh my fucking goodness, what is wrong with me? He was so kind to open the gateway for us, since we probably would have disintegrated from touching the gate, I don't know. And, of course, judging Mimir's head, we see that Atreus will not be waiting for us. And upon meeting Sindri and Brock, we actually get to see their house in the realm between realms for the very first time, and let's be honest, it looks amazingly great. And finally getting to Brock's mything arts, we can get our shield repaired that was destroyed in our fight against Thor. Next up, we went to Svartalfheim to find Tyr, the old god of war of these lands, since Atreus wanted to do that. We also found one of these amazing chests where we found an apple that was so effective that our health bar was increased. And upon arriving in Nidavellir, we actually found Sindri again, and he switched up our bow for us so we could use something that is known to the dwarves as sound magic. You will see how it works. Boom. Then we found the Bay of Bounty and did some oil rig hunting. We had to do that 3 times. This was for a quest for Mimir, since he kindly asked us to do that. And then we went back to the story, found a dwarf named Durlin, got a random shit from him, and then we found the 4th boss fight in the entire game against a crocodile that was already dead. And no, of course not, there was a second one. There always is a second one. And that boss fight was very simple, and as a reward later on in the story, we get the Flames of Anguish light runic attack. Also, we found our first relic. It is called the Talisman of Main, and it basically grants us a gift of strength every time we hold L1 and press circle. And yeah, I rarely use it anyway. Then we found Tyr, the god of war, and he was banged up. He ran away from us until Kratos gave him the right mindset to come with us. And then we just went back home and right on into the next mission using this great door. Actually, we continued as Atreus and Sindri here because we had to find Freya and Jormungandr, the world serpent, because we wanted to ask them for their help in the Ragnarok battle. And we found Jormungandr, of course, since he is already pretty old. That took some time, and Sindri still peed his pants since Jormungandr is, of course, very, very big. Just as well as we found Jormungandr, we found our good old friend Freya, who held her sword Thrungva against our neck. Yeah, I felt so great in that scene. And of course that led to nothing. We just had to go back home through the good old Realm Shift gate, I think it's called. These gates are amazing, like, good thing they did this. Then we went to Alfheim to find another shrine, and Atreus, using his nice giant leap powers, we went to look inside. What we found inside was actually pretty amazing, since it told us that Groa, who told the story of Loki to Odin, had actually lied to him, but also paid the price with her death. Rest in peace, Groa. You really did the storyline for us. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. After waiting till the sequence is over, as I always do, we finally got to see that the god of war is supposed to lead Ragnarok's armies against Odin, and then we had to find Alva, the light elf queen, and we of course had to fight her. What else can we do? We learned that we can block double blue ring attacks, and also after slaughtering her ass, we got something called the Rund of Obliteration, I think it is. And we also cut her hand, sliced her own sword through her shoulder. Yeah, I felt so great. And then Atreus decided to be an absolute idiot and falls into the River of Souls, but then Kratos saves his son without hesitation, like a baller. My man is a Sigma. After that, we went to find another gateway all the way back to Sindri's house, which is obviously a great place, and all the way over there, Sindri explained to us that while sleeping, all the problems work themselves out. And while Atreus here is having a great night's rest, he actually hears a young woman, then we see a mast, a couple more Atreuses, then we fall, and even get killed by our younger self. Amazing. But then we wake up in Ironwood with this lovely wolf snaring at our face. Rushing our way through the tunnel right here, we actually find a young woman named Angerboda, and of course we threaten her because what else can we do? Angerboda was so nice to show us our prophecy of what was about to happen, but since Atreus is somewhat like a rage quitter, he couldn't take all the rage and force anymore and casually decided to turn into a friggin' wolf. Holy fucking damn. Sadly, I was forced to acknowledge that Ironwood was the most annoying part in this game. Still, I was able to find some marbles which contain souls that we put inside random animals that we found all over Angerbodo's grandma's house. Of course, we didn't remain unseen, and our visit was definitely acknowledged by Granny, and we had to end her off in an epic boss fight where we had to destroy her pot. How nice is that? Then Atreus had the best night of his life. My guy definitely having fun right here. Yeah, I know, what is he doing? But then we decided to go back home, but that's the wrong home. Oh no, we ended up back in Midgard. And a couple of minutes after not knowing where to go, we finally decided to open the window and stab random people in their chest. But then we found a nice gateway which I didn't even know that Atreus could open, and Kratos stepped through and confronted us with our big mistake. Definitely trust me on this one, guys. When you will be able to play as Kratos after Ironwood, you will be very happy to play with him again, even though you will find yourself in a boss fight with Freya immediately after. She will almost kill Kratos, but then Atreus decided to turn into a bear, and Kratos, as a Sigma, of course, decided to stop him. After even more family drama, we were okay with going to Vanaheim with Freya and found the Wrath of the Frost Ancients led runic attack. Then we found Freyr's camp, who's actually Freya's brother, and because of that fact, she was the only one he would listen to, and after that we were luckily gladly allowed to search for the roots that kept Freya back in Midgard, so we could finally get rid of them. And as we were trying to step in, a giant monster with the name of Nithog attacked us, but we just decided to close the portal on him and, well, basically chop his head off right there. Now, as a reward, we got to witness the Sky and Nightfall tradition that is only available in Vanaheim because of the wolves that live there. And then we had some family uniting to do, and Freya joins our league. Back home, we found Sindri and Atreus talking to one another, but Sindri is completely going nuts with him since Atreus is planning to go to Asgard, and his best argument is telling his father that it is both his future and his life. And of course, because it's Atreus, he has to go above and beyond and calls his father an asshole. After that, he rages again, then goes back to his old house where ravens take him all the way to Asgard. He climbs a big wall, and while he's doing that, he eventually makes it and finds the dickest dick of all time, Heimdall. And after having trouble beating his ass up, we eventually get to meet Thrud after we are so nicely taken up inside. A couple of moments later, we actually went and talked to Odin, who tells us all about a mask that we have to find. And then we go all the way to Muspelheim, the hottest place in the Nine Realms, and find a piece of the mask since it was incomplete at the start. Also, Atreus likes to grab in lava, but then we go back home with a burnt hand. Back at home, we have one of the nicest transitions in all of God of War, and as you can see, we are back as Kratos now and have the plan to seek out the Norns because we want to know our fate. On the way, we found the Cyclone of Chaos and also found a random hilt in some random stones. Now, we were kindly forced to watch some painful illusions, and then we found a nicely looking sword that got us all the way through water, letting us experience the most annoying Norn of all time. And while I was walking out, I just thought to never come back here again. Please, never again. Then Sindri found a little ring for us that could give us a new weapon, the Draupnir spear, which was created by this lovely young mermaid right here. As she made that lovely weapon, she showed us all of our past, both the God of War and the Sparta sign, and projected it into some sort of banner and put it on the spear. Then we opened it to show it off, and also then we found Odin. We had a nice chit chat and told him that he would meet the god we once were if he wouldn't return our son, and then we fought some random dude from a gravestone, and that guy was very annoying, like very annoying, and I died and died again until eventually I chopped his head off. Oh my gosh, it was annoying. Then we met Faye again, which was also really good, and then we had another nice transition, punching a wall and turning into Atreus. Then we went to Helheim with Thrud and also Heimdall. Found a random wolf that we obviously had to free because we are kind, but seemingly the wolf wasn't, since he, well, just ran off. Then Thrud tried to kick Heimdall's butt, but obviously didn't work. And then we decided to venture back home as Atreus this time, because we just had enough of freaking Asgard, like, come on. On the way, we had one of the nicest reuniting scenes, whatever kind of thing. And then we had a nice and epic boss fight against Garm, really one of the best in the game. And after we killed him, he just spawned again, and, well, kicked their ass, of course. But then Atreus just projects a soul inside his body, I guess, and turns Garm into Fenrir. Now we have a very sad and also very epic scene again, and then we are going to Vanaheim, back to find Freyr, and we also meet this lovely fellow named Hilnisvini. Then we found the wolves of day and night, as I like to call them, since they project day and night. Okay, seriously, now I'm gonna stop using projecting. But we found the moon that they were missing, and that was needed up in the sky again, and after a lovely scene where Atreus shoots an arrow up the sky, we see that we have day and night cycle again. Then we have a nice and easy boss fight against two Drekkies, and obviously we kicked their freaking ass. Then Kratos decided to smash the trunk of a tree, and we found out that we had to save Freyr, but before that we had to fight Blatun, the king of the wolves, but we just dealt with him like any other and ripped his freaking jaw off. Nice. Then we actually found Heimdall, the dick of the game, and we had to beat his ass. Obviously it was pretty difficult since no one can hit him, but then we got lucky, as he said, and hit him for the very first time. Then we stuck a spear into his arm, and then he was suddenly dead. I don't know how that happened, but I am not gonna complain. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. Then we found Freyr, brought him back home on a flying boat. Like, I hate when that happens. And then we discussed our plans for Ragnarok and decided that Atreus has to go back to Asgard, where he found Thor in a bar drinking. Like any other bar in Asgard, there had to be a bar fight where Atreus truly showed us the animal inside him. Then we went to Niflheim with Thor, since Helheim wasn't the right place for the mask, and he actually saved us since we were friends now, or so we thought. He actually wanted to kill us then, but of course it's Thor. And then the surprise hit us. Tragedy struck as we found out that the Tyr that had been with us all along was actually Odin. Then we had another Berserker fight, and that was actually pretty easy, where we got the Berserker waistguard that I'm still wearing today. Then we went to Muspelheim because we needed Surtur, or at least Ragnarok, for the mission to kill Asgard, or Odin at least. As Ragnarok was being created, Frist and Mist attacked us, and we ended it off in an epic scene. Then we went to go hunting, but Kratos didn't feel like it at all, and so we found Sindri, who was actually furious since Brock is dead now. Then Kratos found Faye again one last time in the dream world before we had the most epic scene, and just look at it. And so it begins. Wow. And if you listen closely, you actually heard my voice during the stream that is also available on YouTube. Definitely go check that one out. Then we found Ragnarok at the war and also found Thrud again, who wanted to kill us this time. But Sif so gladly interrupted and Thrud joined our side, but then Thor didn't like that idea and fought us. And after epic scene and epic scene, Odin eventually hacks the kill for us, like what the hell, bro. Then we fight Odin. That didn't go as planned, but then we fight him again for a second time because Atreus decides to break the mask that we've been working for the entire game, and Odin just decides to casually cast a spell on our face. It didn't work. Freya and Atreus kick his ass, and Atreus slaps him down just for Atreus to handle him. Then his soul is put inside a ball, and that ball is destroyed by a dwarf. Ha, what a dork. Then we have another epic scene before the game officially ends, and before the end credits we see Atreus leave us with Angerboda forever. And thank you very much guys for watching this video. It was so much work, believe me, it was unbelievably nice to do this gameplay for you, or well, for me, because I love this game. I can recommend you to play it forever. It's so amazing. So, I thank you very much. Please like, leave a sub, and see you again on the next one. Take care, guys.